Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. A very warm welcome to the Chinachem Group Sustainability Conference 2024, organized by Chinachem Group and co-organized with Business Environment Council, BEC, and Hong Kong Green Building Council, HKGBC. This is Patricia Yang, and I'm very delighted to be your host today. It's fascinating to see all of you again this year. The organizers are thrilled to announce that we have over 5,000 registrations for the conference today, including both physical and online attendees. That is a record high and such a record-breaking number. Let's hear a big round of applause to welcome everybody joining us. Thank you. In addition, we have received staunch support from over 100 supporting organizations from the industries. Let's put your hands together once again to thank them for us. Thank you very much. But today, we're talking about more than sustainability. To ensure this conference is a low-emission event, we have embarked on an initiative by offsetting the carbon emissions generated by this conference through planting a corresponding number of trees. It is a commitment that goes beyond the conference and extends far into the future. As our 5th edition this year, the conference takes on a fresh focus on delivering comprehensive solutions to the intertwined challenges of climate change, sustainable financing, and impact investment. Centered around the theme, integrating sustainability solutions towards a resilient future. The conference today will delve into how these 3 key pillars can be strategically aligned to accelerate the shift towards a more resilient future, both for the built environment and the communities within it, by harnessing green capital from purpose-driven innovators. And today, renowned overseas and local speakers will share their views on a broad range of inspiring topics. Let me give you an overview. In the morning session on climate change, we'll explore several topics, including transforming climate science into practical solutions for our communities, operating climate-resilient infrastructure, and incorporating human-centric design principles. We'll also highlight groundbreaking technologies tailored for the Greater Bay Area and hear fresh ideas from young visionaries driving positive change. In the afternoon, we'll explore how innovative sustainable financing models and impact investments can serve as a powerful tool to address climate challenges. In the sustainable financing session, we'll examine the roles of different stakeholders, including bankers, investors, regulators, and insurers, in scaling finance for sustainability and resilience in the built environment and beyond. And the impact investment session will showcase transformative case studies where purpose-driven investments generate both financial return and positive environmental and social impact, empowering communities and driving collective resilience in the face of climate change and social challenges. Well, as a reminder again, today's conference will mainly be conducted in English with simultaneous interpretation to Putonghua and Cantonese, available for both physical and online attendees. Channel 2 for English, Channel 3 for Putonghua, Channel 4 for Cantonese. We've also arranged instant Cantonese sign language interpretation throughout the conference. For our online participants, you may select your preferred language by clicking the audio channel. And now, to formally kick off today's conference, please join me to welcome on stage Mr. Wang Honghan, Executive Director and Chief Operating Officer of Chinachem Group, for a welcome speech. Please welcome Mr. Wang.
The Honorable Mr. David Lam, Mr. Chin Fai Wong, ladies and gentlemen, friends, a warm welcome to the Chinachem Group Sustainability Conference 2024. Perhaps let me start by asking a very simple question. What season is it now in Hong Kong? Is it autumn? Late summer? Well, as you know, Hong Kong just broke a record last month. However, it's not a record that we are too proud of. On 19th of October, the Hong Kong Observatory issued a late year, very hot weather warning, the latest one in a year ever in Hong Kong's history. With temperatures soaring high at 33.6 degrees Celsius in mid-October, I'm worried that our next generation will not have a chance to enjoy the autumn breeze. My message is simple. Time action is key. In Hong Kong, building accounts for 90% of all electrical consumption and 60% of carbon emissions. We know from the bottom of our heart that the building industry has a pivotal role to play in Hong Kong's net zero pathway. This annual sustainability conference is part of our undertaking as one of Hong Kong's leading developers to catalyze positive change and create long-term social values. Every year, we gather the building industry experts, sustainability thought leaders, and change makers to reflect, to discuss, and plan ahead a climate-resilient and sustainable future. This year's conference theme emphasizes the importance of a collaborative approach in addressing the interconnected challenges of climate change, sustainable financing, and impact investment. We believe collective actions across these three pillars will help accelerate the transition towards a resilient future. Today, you will hear from an exceptional lineup of 27 speakers from government, academia, finance sector, to public organizations, and from young startups to multinational companies through a dynamic mix of keynotes and panel discussions. To kickstart a day of discussions, I'd like to share with you the exciting progress of Chinachem's own sustainability journey. We have established an ambitious long-term decarbonization roadmap called CCG 3050+. We aim to reduce our carbon intensity by 51.8% before 2030, compared to the base year of 2020. We are the second real estate developer in Hong Kong to have achieved the SBTi validation. It is an ambitious but credible strategy with clear actions to support the world to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees. And I can tell you, we are on the right track. We have already reached half our target in 2023. With this achievement, we are now aiming even higher. That is, to develop a more ambitious plan to achieve net zero by 2050. Next, I'll show you how we walk the talk. To minimize carbon emissions, we make sure our own major projects will obtain at least a second highest level of green building certifications such as BEAM Plus and WELL building standards. This commitment is even put into our sustainable design and procurement guidelines. The document ensures sustainable considerations are incorporated into every place we design and build. Currently, over 67% of our properties have obtained green building certification. Remarkably, our newest residential development, In One and Echo House, have attained dual certification. They are both BEAM and WELL certified. From time to time, we explore and develop new technologies in construction and operations. Again, taking Echo House as an example, it is Hong Kong's first private residential project built with IMIC technique. This new generation of building method increases construction efficiency significantly. Yet, it reduces construction waste, lowers embodied carbon, and minimizes disruption to the surrounding environment. Energy efficiency in our buildings is fundamental if we are to meet our long-term emission targets. Last year, we partnered with CLPE to install Hong Kong's first net zero carbon chiller here in the tower. This water-cooled air conditioning system will save our electricity consumption by half, which is equivalent to 7,000 tons of carbon reduction annually. Collaboration is a key enabler of our sustainability journey. That's why we are always looking to build stronger relationships with our stakeholders. We have teamed up with tenants of our properties through what we call a Chinachem Green Tenant Engagement Program. Management fee rebates are offered to tenants who perform the best in energy efficiency and green actions. We also believe in innovation can better equip us to combat climate change. Therefore, we've launched the CCG Excel in partnership with the Hong Kong Science Park. The Accelerator program provides an opportunity for tech ventures to join hands with Chinachem and be part of a driving force to redefining the way we build a more livable and sustainable environment. The program has now nurtured 3 cohorts of young entrepreneurs. Later this morning, you will hear from some of these bright and creative minds who are eager to make a positive change. Capital is, of course, essential in driving and scaling our sustainability efforts. On the other way around, we must also ensure our financing and investment decisions are made in a sustainable manner. In October, we expanded our green finance framework into a more comprehensive, sustainable finance framework, covering a wide spectrum of environmental and social project categories. The enhanced framework also sets a precedent on Hong Kong by becoming the first to align with the Hong Kong Taxonomy for Sustainable Finance and Common Ground Taxonomy, of which both have international second opinion verification. When it comes to asset acquisition, our due diligence process is rigorously guided by ESG principles. This way, we ensure the issues relating to environment, community, and health and safety are all taken into account when acquiring a new property. This process avoids the chance of any new acquisition to hinder our progress towards our carbon reduction targets. Our projects and initiatives are not only designed for people, but also developed in collaboration with them. CCG Hearts is a good example of impact investment. It's a new kind of membership rewards program that not only incentivizes purchase, but also engages our members to give back to society. It showcases our innovative approaches to connecting individuals with NGOs, and encourages them to engage with community by participating in volunteer activities to earn points that can then be redeemed for rewards. Since its launch, we have recruited 150,000 members, and in this year alone, over 13,500 community hours have been contributed. We take pride in the revitalization of Nina Park, which transformed it into Hong Kong's first and only museum-grade wood fossils park. This urban park now breathes new life, featuring over 100 precious wood fossils dating back millions of years, designed with the concept of edutainment. This combines education and entertainment. Nina Park offers a range of interactive educational facilities. Additionally, it exemplifies how we incorporate the sponge city concept into the design, creating an urban green space for everyone, both local and visitors, to enjoy and learn. There will be 5 guided tours at Nina Park today, during lunch break and after the conference. I highly recommend you to sign up and join us to explore the natural wonders. While reporting isn't mandatory to us, we firmly believe in transparency and continually strive to make our ESG performance data more accessible to stakeholders. Our award-winning sustainability report, written in an engaging storytelling style, facilitates dialogue with communities that we serve. Beyond adhering to TCFD and GRI and Hong Kong Exchange ESG reporting guideline frameworks, our latest report also aligns with the IFRS S2 climate-related disclosures. Our next report is coming soon in first quarter of 2025 with several enhancements, one of which will be an early adopter in the industry to report the reference to the TNFD disclosures and to disclose our natural-related risks and opportunities. Finally, we are excited to announce that we have achieved remarkable milestones in the GRESB 2024 awards. For the first time, we achieved the highest 5-star rating in both the development and standing investment categories, placing us among the top 20% of participants globally. We are also recognized as the global and regional sector leaders. This accomplishment not only validates our commitment to sustainability, but also marks an important step in our journey toward creating a sustainable built environment. I would like to extend our heartfelt appreciation to the Business Environment Council and the Hong Kong Green Building Council for co-organizing this event with us, as well as the 100+ supporting organizations' concerted effort in making this conference a success. Our sincere gratitude also goes to the 12 esteemed advisory panel members who have led their deep expertise insights in shaping the direction of today's conference. In anticipation of the interim review of Hong Kong's Climate Action Plan 2050, we look forward to actionable insights generated at today's conference to help propel Hong Kong's net zero journey. I wish you all a fruitful day of learning, exchange, and connection at the Chinachem Group Sustainability Conference. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Wong, for the warm welcome. Please be seated. Thank you very much. Thank you for also sharing the important work Chinachem Group has been doing in advocating sustainability. Today, we're much honored to have as our guest of honor, Mr. David Lam, JP, Undersecretary for Development of the Government of the Hong Kong SAR. Please welcome Mr. Lam for an opening remarks.
Hong Han, distinguished guests and speakers, ladies and gentlemen, participants attending physically and online, good morning. I'm most delighted to join this Chinachem Group Sustainability Conference 2024, organized by Chinachem, BEC, and HKGBC. This conference is a very meaningful event for establishing such a vital platform that brings together leaders, experts, and stakeholders from different sectors to exchange insights on the sustainability issues. The theme of the conference this year is integrating sustainable solutions towards a resilient future. The two keywords, sustainable and resilient, are talking about how one can survive and recover soon under adversity. Today, let me share with you how Hong Kong can withstand and recover in the face of one of the most imminent threats to us, the flooding risks associated with extreme weather. In recent years, the resilience of our city has been subject to severe tests from an increasing number of extreme weather events. Driven by climate change, these events are no longer very rare, and in fact have become more frequent and cause intense disruptions that pose significant threats to our infrastructures, economy, and the well-being of our residents. Notably, super typhoons such as Hato in 2017 and Mangkhut in 2018 caused widespread devastation, including severe backflow of seawater in low-lying areas, and extensive damage to waterfront facilities. The record-breaking rainfall of September last year, with a record highest hourly rainfall of 158 mm since 1884, further demonstrated the escalating severity of these events. The extreme rainfall led to widespread flooding, seriously affecting our transportation network or even shopping mall, and call for an urgent need for robust flood management strategies. More recently, maybe last month at the end of October, we still need to hoist Typhoon Signal number 3, which was quite unusual in the past. Mother Nature seems to remind us better to get prepared for the more extreme weather conditions. Hong Kong, being a compact and highly urbanized coastal city with hilly terrain, is particularly vulnerable to climate change impacts. Rising sea level, more intense storm surges brought by more frequent super typhoons, and heavier rainfall would certainly pose significant threats to our city infrastructures, economy, and most important, the safety of our citizens. In this regard, I'm confident that our Commissioner for Climate Change 2025 will do a good job to cut our carbon footprint in the face of the climate change. But we should not take the matter too lightly, and we should take decisive action to strengthen our city defenses against this growing threat, ensuring that Hong Kong remains resilient and sustainable in the face of the uncertain climate future. The Hong Kong government has long recognized the need for a robust hardware system to cope with the extreme rainfall situation associated with climate change. We have been employing a strategy to enhance a three-pronged flood prevention strategies to enhance our city's stormwater drainage system, which include stormwater inception at upstream, flood storage at midstream, and drainage improvement downstream. The strategy has proven to be highly effective in reducing the risk of flooding across the city, as indicated by the significant reduction in number of major flood incidents over the past years. We indeed completed a number of major flood prevention projects, including the construction of 4 drainage tunnels to intercept surface runoff upstream, 5 stormwater storage tanks at the midstream, and the river training work with a total length of over 100 kilometers at the downstream. Additionally, 27 village flood protection schemes were implemented in low-lying villages. With no time to lose, we continue to make efforts to enhance the drainage system and the capacity of our stormwater facilities at various districts, which are progressing in full steam. Currently, there are 16 stormwater drainage improvement projects underway, which include the construction of barrage in Yunnan, stormwater drains, and underground stormwater storage tanks. This includes the 8 drainage improvement projects with a total cost of about 8 billion Hong Kong dollar that we got the funding earlier this year. An additional 17 flood prevention and stormwater drainage improvement projects are in the pipeline that include 4 river revitalization projects. These initiatives are vital for ensuring that our city's infrastructure remains resilient in the face of the increasingly severe weather conditions. On the other hand, we have to look far ahead and to timely formulate suitable solutions to the possible extreme rainfall situations. Our Drainage Services Department is in the progress of completing a strategic planning study on flood management for coping sea level rise and extreme rainfall to assess the impact of climate change on Hong Kong's stormwater facilities system till the end of this century, so as to formulate a long-term integrated flood management strategy. Sustainability can be in many senses, not only the challenge of extreme weather. We also need to be sustainable in ecological sense. The government is not only concerned about how our infrastructure can have the capacity to cope with the heavier rainfall, but also to create the capacity for ecological sustainability at the same time. Our solution is to actively advocate the blue-green infrastructures design elements as part of our smart, green, and resilient city strategy. This includes features such as revitalized river channels, flood lakes, rain gardens, green roof, and other green facilities in new development areas. Blue-green infrastructures significantly improve the city flood resilience by reducing the burden on the drainage facilities, which, without such infrastructures, it's also a habitat itself, simultaneously promoting urban greening and biodiversity. By integrating blue-green infrastructures into our urban landscape, we can also create a unique and attractive urban design features, contributing to a greener and quality life in our urban environment. We encourage the adoption of blue-green infrastructure in new development areas. For example, the development of the Anderson Road quarry site features Hong Kong's first artificial flood lake, underground stormwater storage tanks, green roofs, porous pavement, etc. In Tung Chung New Town extension, the drainage capacity of Tung Chung Stream will be increased. Tung Chung River Park will be built on both sides of the stream to protect the ecology of Tung Chung Stream while providing public recreational spaces, promoting a water-friendly culture and fostering ecological education. In the northern metropolis, say for example the Sun Tin Technopole, there are a number of rivers channel or drainage channel that we are going to revitalize to serve the dual purpose. The use of innovation and technology play an increasing vital role in our response strategies in confronting climate change challenges. The Drainage Services Department has making considerable progress in integrating advanced technologies into our flood management system. Our recent novel initiative is the enhancement of the flood monitoring and early warning system. As of today, we have installed water gauge in total 24 coastal low-lying areas or windy residential areas with higher risk. Furthermore, we have adopted the use of desilting robots and pipeline inspection robots for rivers and drainage channels to assist in the maintenance so as to improve the work efficiency and safety of the operation and maintenance of the drainage system. To enhance our flood prevention capacities, we have increased the number of remote flood monitoring devices from 300 to 320 and plan to pilot the use of AI system in Yunnan and Tsim Sha Tsui within these years. This AI system will analyze the real-time street image to detect instant flooding conditions, enabling us to respond more quickly and effectively by mobilizing our emergency staff to site in advance. Apart from technology, a rapid response system is also essential. The Drainage Services Department has expanded its emergency response team from 70 teams in the past to almost about 160 teams this year, and also expand the coverage of their emergency operation bases. The expansions ensure the teams can be rapidly deployed to the most affected areas during severe weather events. While government-led initiatives are crucial, the success of our climate resilient efforts also depends on the active participation of the community. Rising public awareness and fostering engagement are essential for building a culture of preparedness and resilience. The government is committed to fostering greater public awareness of the risks associated with extreme weather and the importance of climate adaptation. We are working closely with community organizations, schools, business to promote best practice in flood prevention and emergency preparedness. By empowering individuals and communities with the knowledge and tools, we can collectively enhance Hong Kong's resilience to extreme weather events. Climate change is a worldwide challenge that requires global solutions. Hong Kong is actively engaged in international collaborations and knowledge exchange to enhance our climate resilience. By learning from the experience of other cities, including those in the Greater Bay Area, and sharing our own innovation, we ensure our strategies remain effective and informed by global best practice. That's exactly why activities like conference today contribute a lot to our effort in combating the extreme weather. As we move forward, the challenges posed by extreme weather will only become more daunting. Nevertheless, I'm optimistic that with sustained and collective efforts, we can overcome these challenges and build a more resilient and sustainable Hong Kong. Let us showcase our resilience, our innovation, and our unwavering commitment to combating extreme weather. Together, we can ensure that Hong Kong not only survives, but thrives in the face of an uncertain climate future. And at last, I wish the conference today every success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lam. Please remain on stage for a photo. Now we would like to invite Mr. Wong Hong Han to join Mr. Lam on stage for a photo. Please welcome Mr. Wong. We're much honored by the presence of Mr. Lam as well as our guest of honor today. All right, let's smile for the cameras at the front for a few photos. And it's very encouraging to know how the government has been advocating sustainability for our community as well. All right, thank you. I think we have got that photo. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Please be seated. Thank you. Today, we are also pleased to have Mr. Wang Chunfai, JP, Commissioner for Climate Change, Environment and Ecology Bureau of the Government of the Hong Kong SAR. Let's welcome Mr. Wang for a keynote speech.
Good morning, everybody. Hong Han, David, Simon, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here again at the Chinachem Group Sustainability Conference. First of all, I would like to thank my dear friends in Chinachem, BEC, and Hong Kong GBC for organizing this year's conference. Being one of the leading property developers, Chinachem is taking forward Hong Kong's first zero-carbon chiller system in Nina Tower here, setting a benchmark in the industry and demonstrating the potential for the building sector to play an important role in decarbonization and combating climate change. I'm sure that many of us are looking forward to the full operation of the system. Around the globe, we are confronting various environmental challenges linking to climate change, from biodiversity, water resources, food, and public health. The impact of climate change are far-reaching. It must be noted that these challenges are not standing alone, but interconnected. And to address all of them in a holistic manner, we need to adopt an integrated approach to sustainable solutions, so as to foster a more resilient future that not only mitigate climate change, but also enhance social equality and economic stability. As our turn in Hong Kong, we need to recognize that high temperature and increasing extreme weather. Not all of us might know that we have just experienced the hottest March and April in this year. And in August, we recorded 18 number of hot nights, which is the record for the same period. On the other hand, friends from Tseung Kwan O, I'm not sure how many of you are, may still remember that in May this year, the district encountered exceptional heavy rainstorm of over 140 millimeters in just an hour. All these statistics and records are telling us that global warming and extreme weather are just new normals. To prevent the situation from worsening in the coming decades, it's crucial that we work together to reduce our carbon emission and to enhance our city's resilience. In fact, climate action is one of the sustainable development goals promulgated by the UN. China has long committed to take climate action and aim to achieve carbon neutrality before 2060. To align with our national goal, Hong Kong has set a goal to reduce our greenhouse gas emission by half from our 2005 level before 2035, with a view to achieving carbon neutrality before the middle of this century. For friends who have not been following closely with our climate action, I would strongly encourage you to have a look in the Hong Kong Climate Action Plan 2050, which sets out the city's comprehensive strategy and action in moving towards carbon neutrality. Today, I would like to share with you some key statistics and progress in our journey to carbon neutrality. As many of you may know, electricity generation accounts for about 2/3 of our carbon emission. The greenhouse gas emission from our electricity generation and energy industry reached a peak in 2014. As of 2022, the level has been reduced by over 30%. How did we do that? We have stopped building new power plants, new coal-fired power plants since 1997, and we have switched progressively in the use of lower carbon fuel, natural gas, as an interim solution in the course of exploring zero carbon electricity. At present, the share of coal in Hong Kong's fuel mix is about a quarter. In next year, upon completion of the enhanced work of our cross-border transmission system, we should be able to increase the import of net zero electricity from the current 25% to a new level of 35%. Transport sector accounts for around 20% of Hong Kong's greenhouse gas emission. This figure compares favorably with many cities around the world. Why? As currently, over 90% of our daily commute are made on public transport. So friends, please continue to support our railway and other public transport. There's another amazing figure I want to share with you. In the first half of this year, over 70% of newly registered private cars were EVs, and the government will soon announce the roadmap for the green transition of franchise buses and taxis. Looking ahead, in pursuit of carbon neutrality in Hong Kong, the development of new energy and green technologies can expedite our low carbon transformation. It will also bring new economic opportunities. As an example, countries around the world, including China, are proactively making new investment in hydrogen economy to grasp both the environmental and economic opportunities presented by the global hydrogen development. We have announced the strategy of hydrogen development in Hong Kong in June this year. If you haven't got a chance to look at the document, I will again encourage you to take a look at it. Taking into account of the pace of global development and the specific strength of the city, such as our long history and established legal framework in the safe use of gaseous fuel, our track record in developing and adopting international recognized standards, our ability as an international finance center to pull together the necessary financial resources these days for new business, and our unique advantage of backing by our motherland and connecting to the world market, Hong Kong is well positioned to serve as a demonstration hub for hydrogen and other green technologies. Separately, as announced in the Chief Executive's policy address recently, the government will continue to support local development of green technologies and speeding up green transformation of our manufacturing production. Again, as an example, the Environment and Ecology Bureau is assisting 2 local companies in setting up production lines to turn homegrown, I emphasize, homegrown green technologies into high-value products, promoting development of Hong Kong's green industry. Dear friends, I believe that many of you would agree that these days, incorporating ESG into business model is no longer optional. Good ESG practice is essential for long-term success and benefit of both the environment, business, and the society. By aligning corporate strategies with world sustainability goals, such as climate action, business can proactively address the physical risks posed by climate change, of course, as well as the transition risk to our business. Achieving carbon neutrality before 2050 in Hong Kong is challenging, but reachable. I'm looking forward to your continued participation and support to Hong Kong's decarbonization and sustainability journey. And I wish you all a most inspiring and rewardful day of sharing and partnership networking. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wong. Please remain on stage for the following group photos. Please remain on stage. First, I would like to invite Mr. David Lam and Mr. Wong Hong Han to join us back on stage as we invite the co-organizers and the speakers and moderators of the morning session to the stage for the following photo. Now, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, please join me to welcome Mr. Kevin O'Brien, Chairman, Business Environment Council. Next, let's welcome Dr. Zhang Tin Cheng, SBS, Chairman, Hong Kong Green Building Council. Next, may we have on stage Mr. Chen Shaoxiang, Party Secretary, Chairman of Guangdong Provincial Academy of Building Research Group Company Limited, and Chairman, the Guangdong Hong Kong Macau Greater Bay Area, the GBA Building Technology Alliance. Professor Lam Ki Po, Chair Professor of Architecture and the Built Environment, National University of Singapore. Next, please welcome Professor Alexis Lau, Head and Chair Professor, Division of Environment and Sustainability, Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. Mr. Peter C.T. Lee, General Manager, Sustainability, Airport Authority, Hong Kong. Professor Thomas Chong, Associate Professor, School of Architecture, CUHK. Mr. Chong Chao Yao, Co-founder and Chief Executive Officer, Carbon Care InnoLab. Please welcome. These are the speakers and moderators for the panel sessions that we're going to learn from in the morning session today. Now let's welcome on stage Ms. Olivia To, Senior Vice President, Sustainability, Technology, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Invest Hong Kong. Ms. Rosie Chan, Founder and CEO, Jab Jab Zero Waste Limited. Let's welcome Rosie. And we also have Mr. Zhang Shang Chen, Co-Chair, Global Alliance of Universities of Climate COP27 Youth Delegation, Co-Founder, Student Association on Net Zero Future, Tsinghua University. Now would all guests please smile for the cameras at the front. We'll make sure we have everybody in the frame. Okay, the camera at the center, who is our official photographer. Let's have our smiles. Okay, and one more photo with the photographer there at the front. And then I would like to invite all of you to have your thumbs up and look at the photographer at the front row video, okay? He's going to capture this moment on the stage. And I'll just do a count and please hold with your thumbs. Okay, I'll count and you have your thumbs up for this moment. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Chinachem Group Sustainability Conference 2024. Wonderful, thank you very much. Now would Mr. David Lam, Mr. Wong Hong Han, Mr. O'Brien, Dr. Zhang Tin Cheng, and Mr. Chong Chen Yao please remain on stage for the next photo. With the rest of the guests, please proceed off stage and be seated. Thank you very much. And we look forward to hearing your insights for more practical solutions to achieve sustainability together. While our conference would not be so successful without the guidance of our advisory panel, we'd like to invite them on stage for the following photo. First of all, please welcome Professor Wong Kam Singh, GBS JP Chairman, Wu Zhiqiao, Bridge to China Charitable Organization. Ms. Tracy Wong Harris, Executive Vice President, Hong Kong Green Finance Association. Engineer Dr. Carrie Chan, MHJP, Adjunct Professor, Environment and Sustainability Division of HKUST, Advisor, Asian Energy Studies Center of HKBU. Please welcome. Next, may we have on stage Architect Donald Choi, BBSJP, Member, Council for Carbon Neutrality and Sustainable Development. Now please welcome Mrs. Rebecca Choi Young, Founder and Chair, Golden Age Foundation. Joining us, we also have Ms. Grace Kwok, Founding Vice President, Greater Bay Area Carbon Neutrality Association. Mr. Simon Ng, Chief Executive Officer, Business Environment Council. Please welcome. And representatives from Chinachem Group, including Ms. Sylvia Chung, Chief Business Impact Officer. And Mr. Samuel Kwong, Senior Associate Director, ESG. Please join us on stage. All right, when our guests are ready, please smile for the camera at the front. Big smiles, and please hold. We'll take a few more photos. This is truly a special day that we gather all the brilliant minds together to learn about sustainability and how we can go further for a resilient future. Okay, one hand gesture for net zero. That's what we try to work hard for to achieve carbon neutrality. All right, a few more photos, please. Please hold. Have your net zero gestures there. And we'll take a few more photos and also the video there. Let's hold for this moment. Fabulous. Thank you very much. Thank you. Would all guests please proceed off stage and be seated? Thank you very much. Thank you so much for our advisory panel for the guidance so that we can have this successful event. And today, I'm sure like me, all of you would be very excited and very, very much looking forward to the insights from our experts. And before that, we'd like to have a grand group photo with everyone joining us today. So our photographers are coming to the stage to take this photo for us. Well, we'll take 3 photos. First one, just everyone looking to the camera. And the next 2, we'd like to have you do some gestures for us for this photo, okay? So let's have one photo first. Have your smiles ready. For our guests, if you see like empty seats just next to you, please fill that up for us. All right, everyone, let's have your smiles ready and to the camera for the first photo. Ladies and gentlemen, please hold. We're going to take a few more. Brilliant, we're here to celebrate this record-breaking number of attendance as well. We have over 5,000 registrations, including online attendees this year. Amazing. Okay, once we have this photo ready, we'll have the next one. Let's take one more with this camera. All right, next one, let's have our hearts ready. And we're going to do it with our 2 fingers there. That signifies our passion and our commitment to drive sustainability and also to make sure we incorporate the corporate solutions to our practices. Okay, a few more photos. We need to get everybody ready. The hearts, please have those. Okay, please hold. We'll take several more. Okay, please wait. We'll have one more photo with the net zero gesture as well. And this time, aside from our photo cameras, we'll also have the video camera, all right? So let's have the photos first. Let's do this gesture with the net zero sign, and that will signify our commitment to achieving carbon neutrality as well. All right, let's hold. This is truly a special day that we have to commemorate. So thank you for sharing this moment with us and participating in the photo session. All right, please hold for the video camera right here, and I'll do a count, and let's say cheers together, all right? Ready? 3, 2, 1, cheers! Cheers to sustainability. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, brilliant. Thank you very much. That is wonderful. Up next, we're going to invite the following speaker who is going to present on the topic from climate science to resilient built environment for communities. We're going to learn from the speakers on this topic, and now let's welcome him on stage. He is Professor Alexis Lau, Head and Chair Professor of the Division of Environment and Sustainability at the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. Let's welcome Professor Lau.
Well, first, thanks very much for the organizer to invite me to this great conference. Today, I want to talk about the how climate change is impacting and what the built environment and the community can do, as well as some climate risks and opportunities. Well, I think everyone here knows that climate change is already here. It's not something in the future, and a lot of us are suffering from the damage. But I don't know whether anyone knows what is the single largest death mortality risk related to climate change. Actually, a lot of time we see a lot of exciting or good pictures on the TV, thinking that flooding, landslide, and all this are important. But actually, according to the WHO, just released, heat is by far the most important challenge. And here, if we are thinking about heat, then the past year is something that we really have to take note. Actually, this is the global average temperature plotting all the way from 1850 all the way to 2024. The record shows that since June 2023, every month in the past year is a record-breaking month. I want this to sink in. This is totally unprecedented. Every month is getting hotter than before. And if you look at how much hotter they have gone, it's much higher than the previous jump. And this is in the backdrop of emissions are still increasing. We have tried to do a lot of things, but the emissions are not coming down yet. The rate of emission increase is still increasing. So I think it's very important for everyone here to try everything to reduce the emission. In terms of the impact, I want to use two impacts that is quite related from my perspective to the built environment to talk about risk. Actually, go back to one of the very famous case of a heat wave in Paris, 2003, which is more than 2 decades ago. During that time in Paris, which is a well-developed country, and the total number of people died. It was estimated to be over 14,000 in a single event for the first 20 days of this heat wave. And if you think that is a very large number, let's look at the number of deaths that was attributed in Europe shortly after the event, and then subsequent further analysis suggests that 70,000 people died because of heat in Europe. Okay? So this is something I think we need to recognize. Climate change is a silent killer as well as all this dramatic picture. Why so many people die? Actually, it's related to the recommendations the government have for the people, because previous event doesn't last that long. The government actually advised people to stay home. And a lot of people actually stay home, but these particular events last longer than expected. And unfortunately, a lot of single and elderly people died in their home. So actually, the government changed their advice. A few years later, a similar event happened, and much less people died. This actually gives us a very important lesson in terms of how response to climate change. We really have to think about our recommendations, our warnings. Okay? So for Hong Kong, I think one of the problems is a lot of our elderly people think that, well, they're used to heat. But the heat that comes in can be quite different. And we need to think about how to advise them in this particular situation. So another risk which I also want to talk about is flooding. Everyone knows that there's a lot of flood, but one way that climate change kills is actually flooding car parks. People try to save their car and get killed. Hong Kong and Macau learned about this in our Hector storm in 2017. The next year we have another storm, not much people do the same thing, but the message is not out. 2 years ago in South Korea, 7 people died doing similar thing, and just this past week, Spain again has the same people doing exactly the same thing, and 7 perished. So I think it's very important for us to develop an emerging climate risk database so that we can learn from the error or from the new emerging risks so that we don't have to suffer the same casualty in other places. So the UN has launched an early warning for all initiative, talking about risk identification, prediction, warning, as well as penetrating to the community. We need to get this information into the community, into the people who need to know what to act. So for community resilience, I'm borrowing a slide from Eva, who come to our conference. All the action, all the plan has to be people-centered. We have to really work with the community to know what they really need, as well as how to communicate with them so that they will take our advice. So this is something very important. When we think about Hong Kong, actually, Hong Kong with its dense infrastructure and all this digital and all the professional here, I think it is a very good place for us to serve as the test bed for innovative as well as adaptive solutions for climate change adaptation. In addition, our region in the tropics actually has one more problem, because weather forecast in the tropics is not as good as in the mid-latitude, because most of the major centers are in the US, Europe, Japan. We urgently need better weather forecasts in the tropics, which is more difficult. So I think Hong Kong can serve as a region, a local center, developing weather services, weather models for the tropics. And this is something we really want to work with the government and other universities around the region to develop. Finally, I know that today we talk about not just risks, we talk about also the opportunities, as well as the community impact. I have been working on air quality for a long time, and in the past, we have looked at air quality improvement, but most people are actually staying indoor. So how can we improve the air quality indoor is also very important. And with the climate change on the background, I think there is also a great opportunity. With retrofit, we can actually do a lot of benefit in both reducing energy use as well as improving indoor air quality. So this is actually a very good benefit from both health, carbon, as well as if we have green finance opportunity to do a lot of things. So we can even use building, if we do it right, to clean the outdoor air. Okay? So here we are working with the World Meteorological Organization to develop something called Regional Climate Risk Hub. And UST has taken to become one of the regional hubs in Southeast Asia. The idea is we try to work with stakeholders to share best practice as well as become an archive of all these emerging risks. We hope that with contribution or collaboration with the team here, we can really get this as soon as possible. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Lau, for sharing your insights. Please be seated. Next, we're going to welcome Mr. Peter C.T. Lee, General Manager of Sustainability at the Airport Authority Hong Kong, who will share with us on the topic Weathering the Storm, Operating a Climate Resilient Airport. Please welcome Mr. Lee.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. So today you can see my topic is Weathering the Storm, how to operate a climate resilient airport. So to start with, I just want to give you some example why climate change matters to airports. Of course, coastal airports are at risk of the coastal flooding due to several sea level rise and extreme events. So starting from the photos on the right-hand side, you can see the famous Kansai Airport incident happened in 2008. Actually, the issue is dealing with both a heavy rainstorm and as well as some settlement issue with the airport design. So for that particular situation, actually, Kansai Airport have been closed for 3 days. And actually, all the full passenger operation only resumed after 17 days. And the cargo operation actually stopped for 2 months. And in the middle, you can see the London Luton Airport, which is actually one other incident that you may not be thinking of. Actually, the one-way pavement liquefied, and actually the airport have been stopped operation for a few hours. And for actually on that particular day, England is facing a heat wave, reaching a temperature of 41 degrees Celsius in July 2022. And I'm happy to tell you that actually the Hong Kong International Airport, actually the pavement is a very robust design. They can survive up to 76 degrees Celsius. So if you have a chance to join the one-way marathon next Sunday, so you can go and see and verify yourselves. So, and then on the left-hand side, you can see the Dubai Airport, which is just happening this year. So they have a very rare incident, you know, the rainfall on that particular day actually total to be the whole year rainfall in Dubai Airport. So you can imagine in some of the Middle East locations, they are facing flooding problem for airport. So with this in mind, what we have been doing in Hong Kong International Airport, actually back in the year of 2020, we have commissioned a 18-month climate resilience studies to make sure that we have reviewed and strengthened our operational resilience and adaptive capabilities to a changing climate. And for that exercise, actually, we have involving 20 internal departments and throughout the studies and ensure that we have all the experience and knowledge gathered during the past, during our operation. So the studies actually completed in August 2021. And as part of this exercise, actually, we also need to examine the climate readiness of our own airports. So I'm happy to tell you that basically the airport already exposed to some significant extreme weather, like some of the earlier speakers mentioned about Mankud and also the bad rainstorm just last year. So we did survive, and then actually we kind of with the operation resumed, for example, very quickly after each major typhoon passing Hong Kong. So with that, actually, we have a number of existing control in place, including operation procedures like typhoon and heavy rainstorm preparation guidelines, monitoring and maintenance, inspection, record program, etc., emergency management, fault response team, as well as the most important one is the infrastructure ourselves. So, but still, I think we need to be also get prepared for any unpredicted incidents. So that's why we have major drill for weather preparedness. So in March this year, actually, we have also successfully conducted the typhoon readiness exercise called the Summer Bowl. In that exercise, we actually involving more than 700 participants from different stakeholders, including those from airport community, including Hong Kong observatories, police force, St. John's ambulance, airport security, and other local carriers and ground supporting agents as well. So the drill actually also cover a number of similar scenarios. For example, adverse weather, including how we do the cloud management, baggage handling, and flight information system, airfield, typhoon contingency, etc. So apart from those physical exercises, actually, in that particular study, we also examined the climate scenarios for both assessing the physical risk and the transitional risk. So today I'm talking more about the physical risk. For those familiar with this chart, actually this is the IPCC AR assessment report number 5. This is the latest report at the time of our assessment. So on the x-axis, this is the year from 1918 to the end of the century, and then the vertical is the carbon emissions. So the red line is actually the business as usual. You can see at the end of the century, the temperature increase will be in the range of 3.2 to 5.4 degrees Celsius. So everyone remember we are targeting to the 1.5 degrees Celsius increase compared with pre-industry. So so that can only achieve if we go for the LCP 2.6, the blue line at the bottom, with a range of 0.9 to 2.3 degrees Celsius. In fact, at the very beginning of the study, we thought maybe the LCP 6 is the most probable case. But soon after we studied, we recognized actually the LCP 8.5 is the one that we are facing. So that's why we are actually using the LCP 8.5 for the physical assessment covering different time frame from 1230 to 50 and end of century. For the transition risk, is talking about how far we can transit to a low carbon economy. So that's why we are adopting the LCP 2.6 for the particular scenarios. So for the different scenario, we also take into account the projection by the Hong Kong observatories under the LCP 8.5 scenario for different parameters, including, for example, annual average temperature rise. It will be kind of expected to increase by 5.5 degrees Celsius by the end of centuries. And in the center, you can see the typhoon frequency. Actually, the frequency of typhoon will be reducing, but the intensity and the frequency for the major typhoon will be increasing by the end of the century. And I want to draw your attention to the one at the bottom, the table, about the annual number of the annual maximum daily rainfall. As you can see, as predicted by the Hong Kong Observatory, by middle of century, the rainfall will be up to a maximum of 413 millimeters, and end of century, more than 500 millimeters. Just remember this number for now, okay? And then, in our assessment, actually, for the end of century, we understand the RCP scenario and even the SSP scenario under AR6, they didn't take into account the possibilities of the melting of the iceberg. So that's why in our assessment, apart from the RCP 8.5, which expected a sea level rise of 1.28 meter, actually that also increased to 1.72 meters under the AR6 assessment. We actually take into account the H++ scenario, which is the sea level rise of 2.5 meters by the end of century due to the melting of the iceberg. So this, to us, is at the time, is a very conservative assumption, but now we can see this is become a more probable situation. So we are happy that we already are taking into account this extreme scenario in our assessment. So what we've been doing, the process actually covering 3 stages for the physical risk assessment, starting with a preliminary screening, starting from 94 access cards within the airport, and then go down to initial assessment, shortlist to 16. And then finally, we deep dive to the 6 major priority assets that are more prone to the different kind of climate hazards, including, for example, typhoon, extreme rainfall, lightning strikes, sea level rise, tidal flooding, and temperature rise. So the 6 assets, priority assets that we assess in our assessments, including airfield power distribution system, baggage handling system, chiller system, and seawater system, tunnel, and also terminal buildings. So we did so as I said, I mean, flooding may be a more vulnerable risk hazard to the airport operation. I just tried to recap the incidents happening in last year, the major rainstorm. As you can see, the photo is very much the one-time scene, you can remember. On the right-hand side, actually, this is the 2 major rainstorm episodes. The top one is the one in September. And you can see the maximum and daily rainstorm at that day is actually exceeding 600 millimeters. So remember, the Hong Kong oil projection for the end of century is just more than 500. So what's happening last year is already, exceeding the end of century prediction by Hong Kong observatories. And at the bottom, for the September event, you can see the Hong Kong International Airport is not facing that much rainfall. It's only about 100 to 200 mm. But the one at the bottom, actually, the rainstorm in October related to Typhoon Little Dog, actually, Hong Kong International Airport is really hit by the rainstorm. We are facing something like 300 to 400 millimeters. So something is actually happening to our operation. So to address those, actually, we also including some additional quantitative modeling, including the seawall studies and also an airport-wide drainage study to make sure that we have examined all the possible scenarios. So we take into account the cumulative effect, not only due to the sea level rise, but also the overtopping wave associated with typhoon, the extreme rainfall, all add up together. Say, for example, we assume continuous heavy rainfall, continuous high tide, and also the continuous overtopping waves, adding all together to test our case. And with that, basically, sorry, I need to draw your attention to the conclusion at the right-hand side, at the bottom. So basically, I'm happy to tell you that the Hong Kong International Airport is well protected from flooding under the IPCC, the tested scenarios, and is until middle of century, and we will be operational, all the 3 runways will be operational by the end of century. So if you are at the airport, you can take a flight, but make sure that you can come to the airport with all the road connected to the airport. Yeah. So as the major outcome of the study, we actually, apart from the assessment, we also need to get us prepared and also prepare for the other new development. So that's why we have a number of documents as an outcome of the study, including the climate adaptation and resilience plans, which actually identify a list of short, medium, and long-term actions for us to follow up. And also, the implementation progress will be reported to our own Sustainability Executive Task Force chaired by our CEO. And it will be reviewed every 5 years or when any new science come. So basically last year, with the release of the IPCC AR6, we did another review covering the new climate scenarios. And recently, we are also trying to introduce what we call the climate event feedback mechanism. That means what's happening now in Hong Kong, for example, the one-time scene situation, if that happen in the Hong Kong International Airport, what we can do. So that's something that we are ongoing considering. And then the next one is for new development, what we call the climate resilience guides and looks. So we provide the guidance for new development within the international airport, including our own development and also those by our franchisee. So they need to go through a kind of thinking process to ensure that they have asked themselves the question whether the design is resilient enough and what adaptation approach that they can consider. It's not only design, actually, it can be operation or maintenance, arrangement, asset renewal, or even emergency response. And then lastly, to ensure that we are transparent to our investors, stakeholders, we also released the TCFD Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosure Statement back in the year of 2021. And so we are actually releasing the 4th version just this August. And we are one of the first Asian airports to publish the TCFD statement, and we are aware of the ISSB, RFIS S2 requirements, so we are going to also adapt to these new standards. So these are all I'm going to share today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lee, for sharing with us how the Hong Kong International Airport is doing in tackling climate change. They're actually setting a very great example in the public sector, one of the great examples in Hong Kong in tackling the situations and also advocating sustainability. Yes, we do not have any much time to wait, so it's time to act. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the following speaker we're going to invite on stage may be presenting in Putonghua. So if you need simultaneous interpretations, you may need to put on your headsets. And for online participants, you can select your preferred language. And the following speaker will speak to us on latest technology for a climate-resilient built environment in the Greater Bay Area. And please welcome on stage Mr. Chen Xiaoxiang, Party Secretary and Chairman of Guangdong Provincial Academy of Building Research Group Company Limited and Chairman of the Guangdong Hong Kong Macau Greater Bay Area Building Technology Alliance. 掌声有请陈少祥先生。
尊敬的各位业界的同仁、各位专家，那么今天非常荣幸受邀能参与华贸论坛。我想呢，我们将来会更多的机会通过标准协同把我们内地和香港一些好的技术和标准融会贯通使得我们大湾区更加舒适。更加绿色，更加安全，更加宜居也更加韧性那么今天也很荣幸能够在这里跟大家分享关于粤港澳大湾区气候韧性建筑环境的最新技术也把我们团队和我们公司的一些业绩和产品做个报告。那么广东省建筑科学研究院呢，我们是在做建设的。全过程的技术研究，我们的研究对象呢，也涵盖了房屋、市政、交通、水利、环保、安全等多个领域，也为工程质量安全提供全生命周期的完整的产业链。那么粤港澳大湾区气候韧性建筑环境技术呢，是一个关乎我们未来生存环境和生活质量的重要议题。那么，随着气候的变化的日益加剧，构建一个具有气候韧性的建筑环境已成为非常急需应对的紧迫挑战。同时呢，也带来巨大的发展机遇那么，基于这个想法呢，我们也做了一些研究。那么，下面把我们一些研究的成果和情况呢，跟大家做个交流和汇报。那么首先是韧性发展与气候的适应性那么我们身处在大湾区大湾区是个非常美丽宜居的一个环境。那么它是属于南亚热带湿润季风气候我们终年的气温呢高温那么阳光充足，夏季长，霜期短降水丰沛所以北方的一些朋友也说，在南方或者在广州这个入冬比较难这个秋天的感觉也不是太明显那么大湾区呢，典型是气候脆弱区，台风、暴雨、雷电、大风、高温等灾害性多发所以面临着很多挑战。我们的环境、我们的建筑有很多气候的挑战所以全方位构建一个安全、智慧、宜居的环境呢，是我们共同的目标。我们从宏观，从城市到街区，到社区，到小区，到我们居住的我们自己的家庭。那么韧性发展与气候的适应性呢，是我们共同一个责任。那么大湾区目前来讲，我们认为最紧迫的问题是应对 洪涝、雨水、台风。那么粤港澳大湾区外江防潮系统的能力已达到了50到200年一遇，但是城市暴雨洪涝防御系统的能力呢是10到20年一遇。同时呢，由于气候变化的加剧，暴雨、台风频次增加，城市暴雨洪涝灾害频发那么刚才几个讲者也涉及到这个话题在黑色暴雨情况下我们要应对很多突发的事件。那么城市洪涝问题呢，已经成为制约大湾区经济、社会健康发展的突出瓶颈。那么为解决好这个城市内涝的问题，粤港澳大湾区发展规划纲要和国务院办公厅关于城市内涝治理的实施意见呢，相继也印发。那么其中提出是因地制宜提升城市因城施策，提升城市防洪排涝功能。那么在这个背景下呢，我们也提出要构建这个海绵城市那么海绵城市呢，是新一代城市雨洪管理的理念。那么也指城市能像海绵一样，在适应气候环境和应对雨水带来自然灾害等方面具有良好的弹性韧性，也可称为水韧性城市那么下雨时吸水、蓄水、渗水、进水，需要时将储存的水释放并加以利用。那么它的特点呢，有6个方面的这个表达，就是渗、治、蓄、进、用、排。那么国家层面呢，在海绵城市的这个发展呢，也出台了很多政策的这个指引海绵城市的建设是缓解城市内涝的重要举措海绵城市建设作为我国应对城市水管理挑战和可持续发展的重要战略。那目前我们已经做了10年的研究也已经取得了一定的成效和成果。那么在“十四五”期间呢，我们确定了60个条件优越、积极性高、具有突出的城市特色的城市呢，开展这个海绵城市建设的示范城市那么也力求这个推动更广泛的实施和运用那么在整个工程实践方面呢，我们的内容呢涵盖了从规划到建设的全过程那么在城市的实施和规划方面呢，开展城镇内涝治理、海绵城市、城市韧性评估等多项工作那么从城市尺度呢，珠海市呢聚焦雨水问题，灵活选用了治、蓄、进、排措施，通过源头减排。那么这方面是通过滤，就是源头的海绵设施，控制微雨、小雨，到排水系统，我们通常叫灰水那么到排水管网泵站，控制中小雨还有一个防涝系统，就是蓝包括了这个河湖水序控制的中大雨，实现呢大雨不内涝，小雨不积水，修复城市的水生态，保证我们城市的安全。那么在社区的尺度呢，我们通过珠海保利海秀花园这个概念呢也做了一个雨水花园，叫市区海绵那么市区海绵呢，它的理念呢是采用雨水花园、传输型的草沟、渗透铺排、调蓄池等设计方式，实现水安全、水环境、水生态、水资源等4个方面的提升那么在广州，在建筑小区海绵城市这个方面呢，也开展了施工设计加验收的全过程咨询服务，覆盖了广州、深圳、佛山、珠海、中山、清远、惠州等7个地市，我们共完成了101项的海绵工程通过设计灰加力的结合，低影响的开发实施，开展建筑与社区的低影响的开发工作。 么这是珠海的一个项目叫保利海秀花园那么全过程包括这个设计、施工加验收这方面是一个整套的流程可以完成那么也取得了一些比较新的或者结合，我们根据这些难点、重点或者一些堵点、痛点的问题结合一些场景的需要，我们也研发出一些我们的技术标准，包括产品和成果那么标准方面呢，我们完成了一项国标编制，城镇内涝治理相关一项团标，海绵城市有2项省标，1项团标。那么另外我们也获得了这个发明专利2项，还有实用新型的有7项发明专利这是我们这个标准的一个展示那么下面呢就是关于我们用的一个比较实用好用的一个产品那么这个在地下室遇到洪涝的时候呢，可以应对短时强降水这个是轻便结实、滴水不漏，也易以安装，性价比比较高要比那传统的这些沙包这些都好用和管用这个叫装配式的防汛防涝闸门那么这个在我们广州和很多城市已经投入使用这个也非常容易安装那么第二个呢，就是这是我们院根据这个应用场景研发的一个移动的这个监测车和指挥车那么当有这个防雨和防涝险情的时候，我们可以通过云台摄影无人机通过5G CPE Pro 系统我们可以把整个的数据进行采集、传输和集成精准的测算出它的整个的雨情和情况，为制定这个排涝措施呢提供高效的精准的数据那么这个车辆也是我们自己在国内首创的已经投入了现场目前我们有10几个场景一共有14台车而且把这些车的数据呢结成一个互联网、车联网进行整体的，所以我们的这车呢也被列入广东省应急厅应急管理的最高机构作为这个专用的指挥车那么从车辆到我们还有一个防涝的智能抽水系统这个在地下室遇到险情的时候我们的自动远程启动抽水，而且在没有电源的情况下可以自带电这个发电提供有效的这个启动。那么这个东西呢也是得到一个专利这个在现场很多场景里面地下室不管它是3更半夜的突发在人不知道的情况下，我们这个可以自动启动这个系统那么这个也是个很好的一个防汛的一个系统。那么应对城市呢，整个搭建城市生命线安全监测预警平台，使城市生命线安全从看不见到看得见，从事后调查处置向事前事中预警，从被动向主动防控的根本性转变，从源头来化解各类风险隐患那么这些包括城市里面非常重要的桥梁、隧道、燃气、管道等基础设施我们通过建立叫城市生命线工程监测预警平台那么这个也是城乡和住建部专门提出的一个将覆盖全国的城市的一个系统。我们主要现在目前是在广州为全省在建立这么一个叫城市生命线工程监测使到我们这个桥梁、隧道、燃气、管道、管廊得到有效的监测和保障那么我们广东建科院呢，希望也是做建筑科技的引领者、绿色制造的领航者城市安全的守护者 智慧运维的先行者啊，也希望多向我们香港的业界同行交流和学习，那么共同提升啊。那么粤港澳大湾区气候韧性建筑环顶的最新技术，也是我们共同的财富。从城市到社区，从小区到居室，每一步都至关重要。这不仅对环境的保护，更是我们对未来的投资。啊，我们也相信啊，我们想跟香港的各界业界同行多交流啊。我们面向整个粤港澳大湾区啊，我们之前也跟香港业界很多的交流啊，也形成了像粤港澳大湾区机电设备再调试这个标准很好的一个落地啊。那未来我们期待有更多的合作，出台更多好的成果啊，发挥我们专业优势和实力，为湾区的建设和发展贡献力量。那么最后，我们也希望共同努力，粤港澳大湾区能够成为全球最具活力和创新能力的地区之一。谢谢大家。
谢谢，非常感谢陈先生，请先到台下就座，谢谢。Thank you so much again to Mr. Chen for sharing his insights with us. Well, the Chinachem Group Sustainability Conference is truly a great platform for us to exchange ideas and to learn from each other. And with that, we're going to move into the next session, which will be a panel discussion on climate change, focusing on the topic Pathways to a Climate Resilient and Inclusive Built Environment. Our panel members will explore innovative strategies and practices for creating urban spaces that not only withstand climate challenges, but also promote inclusivity. The panel will feature experts from various sectors who will share insights on integrating sustainable design principles, leveraging technology, and fostering community engagement. Just a reminder for our on-site participants and also our online participants, by the end of the session, we're going to open the floor for Q&A. So if you have questions for our moderators and for our panel members, feel free to submit them, and we're going to show you the QR code just right after we invited them on the stage. And now, please join me in welcoming our panel members. They are Mr. Chen Xiaoxiang, Party Secretary and Chairman of Guangdong Provincial Academy of Building Research Group Company Limited, and Chairman of Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area Building Technology Alliance. Welcome again to the stage. Next, we have Mr. Chongchen Yao, Co-founder and Chief Executive Officer of Carbon Care InnoLab. Please welcome Mr. Chong. Joining us on the panel, we also have Professor Lam Kipo, Professor Chair, Professor of Architecture and the Built Environment at the National University of Singapore. Let's welcome Professor Lam again. Next, we have Professor Alexis Lau, Head and Chair Professor of the Division of Environment and Sustainability at the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. Also, we have Mr. Peter C.T. Lee, General Manager of Sustainability at the Airport Authority Hong Kong. And of course, our moderator for the session, we have Professor Thomas Chung, Associate Professor at the School of Architecture at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Let's welcome our panel members. And now I'm going to pass the floor to Professor Chung.
Okay, thank you everyone, and thank you for the panel for great sharing. I think the four presentations have already shown us a great, rich diversity of approaches. But before we go into the real, discussion session, I think for Mr. Chongchen Yao, I think I also have one idea for us to share with us. Maybe we can ask Mr. Chong to share with us his idea first.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for Chinachem for inviting us to share ideas. We are now close to COP29. And last year in COP28, nations of the world pledged to triple renewable energy by 2030. So Carbon Care InnoLab is a small NGO. You often understand NGO as just in advocacy, but we also go into innovative solutions. So with a few minutes, I would like to introduce the JC Solar Care program, which was funded by the Jockey Club. And we work with NGOs in Hong Kong, making use of their building to build solar systems. Many people say Hong Kong is not suitable for large-scale solar system as an energy source. We think otherwise, so we want to do pilot programs leveraging on the good policy which was introduced by Mr. K.C. Wong when he was K.S. Wong when he was the Secretary for Environment. So I want to thank him for in public. We usually are very critical of government in public, but I want to thank him because he introduced a very good policy. So this fit-in tariff scheme allow us to build solar systems and sell the electricity to the power companies. I won't go into the figures, but we have already built 34 systems. We will operate them until 2033, and we will build another 27 or 30, up to 60. So we will be probably becoming one of the largest solar systems operators. This results in carbon emissions, result in clean energy, carbon reduction, rather, avoidance, and also is more effective than even planting trees, we think. So, and also it brings the message of climate change, climate resilience to different community groups, because we are building solar systems with youth camps, with homes for people with disability, for children homes, elderly centers, elderly homes. So in a way, every time when we build a system, we introduce an education program, and we therefore address also the vulnerability of different community groups. So it ties in with the theme of today, a built environment is also for people living, as our speakers share. So Carbon Care InnoLab is very happy to introduce this program to you, and we will like to share more thoughts and learn from the wisdoms of the speakers in this panel and this conference as a whole. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Chong, for the sharing. I think it kind of completes the wide range of approaches and measures according, in relation to our theme of our panel, the pathways to climate resilient and inclusive built environment. I think, at the beginning we had Professor Lau, the scientific research giving us the general picture and, warning and cautions, as well as kind of on his level, what to do as a scientist. And then we also have Mr. Peter Lee with the Hong Kong airport, which is actually doing a great job and with great design as well, and kind of operating and really prepared for climate emergency and so on. And then we also have Professor Lam from NUS talking about human-centric design, which zooming into the building scale, but reminding us of the most important element, the user, the occupants, the people, right? Then we also have Mr. Chen from Guangdong, actually showing us our mainland counterparts this the sponge city kind of concept at different scales. And I think what's impressive is that they do comprehensive approach from the research to design to implementation and operation. I think that's a model that we can certainly learn from in Hong Kong. And I think together, we, and also Mr. Chong for his smaller scale, but nevertheless very important, approaches to sustainable design. And I think together, we definitely have different approaches, different scales, pathway to climate resilient built environment. So my question for discussion for the panel members is that as pathway, how to do this, how to make it happen in your field or in your mind. What is the biggest challenge to going the next step, right? As well as opportunities. And maybe I open the question to all participants. Yeah. Maybe we can start with Professor Lau.
Well, as academics, I always think that vision is very important. And then with that vision, government support. I think government has to make the vision to lead, particularly for environmental issues. There's always a tendency saying maybe this is not really true. But I think with the Chinese government being so strong, so proactive, I think Hong Kong, particularly I'm more thinking about Hong Kong, we should work more collaboratively with the government, as well as set more stringent targets. I always believe stringent target is the way to go. And the business here can deliver whatever you challenge them. So I think that is one of the most important things.
Yes, I think stringent target and being rigorous as well. So I think maybe we have Peter next. I think the airport is doing a great job with that.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm showing today is actually very much reactive and preparedness. I think apart from how to handle climate change, actually we also need to be proactive. For example, apart from those measures that I mentioned today, we also need to decarbonize, actually doing contribution to decarbonize to make sure that, the world is actually achieving 1.5 degrees Celsius as a target. So that's why, apart from those, we are also doing our own decarbonization roadmap. We have our net zero carbon patch, not only with our own airport authority, but also with other 30 business partners working in the airport. So altogether, actually, we contribute something like 80% of the ground emissions. And actually, ourselves only 1/3 of those. So it's important to collaboratively work with others to do both proactive and reactive actions.
Yes, and for collaboration, I think Professor Lam also, really emphasized that. I think last night I just came back from a conference in Bangkok on global health, and the key message takeaway was also collaboration, medicine, social science, as well as us designers and built environmental professionals. Ms. Ann, for your case, you have done it in Singapore. Any kind of advice for us in Hong Kong?
Yeah, I think it's really, again, a universal challenge. I think what Professor Lau and the rest have said, we cannot continue to do things in an incremental way. Technology, for 12, 15 years, I've been saying net zero is must do. For buildings that we already know that can be done. You have some here, we have, parts of the world have. It's no longer a question. Why are we still debating whether we do net zero or not? I'm talking about buildings. We must do. For offices and schools that we already know what to do. There are new challenges that are coming that we really don't know what to do. Hospitals, we don't know what to do, okay? Old folks' home, aging population in our region. We really don't know much about that need. So we need to look at those, but to have resources to look at those, we must do this other part first. We shouldn't be already saying, oh, well, I'll improve 30%, 40%. It has to be 100%. So I think that's my main hope, for everybody. Convincing the healthcare people is a whole different ballgame. I thought convincing the engineers were difficult. Not true anymore. Now convincing the doctors, oh my gosh. They say, where's your evidence? We do kind of building study. They think we are just playing, not real. So we need to really understand to collaborate and then have to rise up to the challenge in terms of the scientific, technical rigor. Yeah, I think that's the new challenge.
Okay, yes. Thank you, Professor Lam. And I think for Mr. Chen, maybe I also say the question in English. I think for you, the comprehensive work that you've done for Guangdong is amazing. But as Professor Lam said, are there any types of buildings or neighborhoods that still need more work, or is not so much got so much attention to climate resilience? Any further areas that the sponge city concept can apply to Guangdong or even for Hong Kong?
这个题我觉得也是今天我们非常关注的。参加这个论坛，我觉得可以获取到很多好的知识和新的知识。那么今天我见了很多新朋老友，那么也有一段时间了，大家有很深的一个感受也包括我们在今天这个几位讲者讲的题材城市怎么更加韧性、更加宜居、更加智慧。那我们在广东也好，在全国有大量的既有建筑那么在政策和技术标准层面，确实还有很多工作要做得很多很细，才能保证这个城市更加的智慧、更加的韧性、更加的宜居。所以政策层面和标准层面，以及普及到我们所有的建筑物的运维这里很多技术，所以希望的这个下来的挑战呢希望我刚才在演讲里面讲，粤港澳甚至包括国外我们很多专家和技术能够更加的融通、贯通、连通然后呢，还有一个就是我们在人才和技术的交流方面这也是目前我们可以应该做得更加深、更加细的我们在国内做的，广东做的很多历史建筑包括刚才介绍的海绵城市。从当年的这个奢侈品，到现在已经是日用品，你天天可以见到包括最近我们也在搞光伏加建筑光伏加建筑BIPV 也包括这个光伏加景观既能发电降耗降温，又能使到我们的天台成为一个活动场所。所以这些技术，我觉得也可以再多交流、多投放的现实，在大学里在我们的公共建筑，甚至在机场是吧？我们都可以把这些技术更好的去推所以这里面呢既有刚才说既有很多挑战，因为现在还没有整个很成型，没有很普及，但也很多机遇所以今天这个论坛我觉得非常好也给我们提供了很好的机会来交流、共同碰撞、共同去解决这些问题。好，谢谢。
Thank you, Mr. Chen. And I think that leads on very well to comment or this response from Mr. Chong as the idea of solar panels and use of that not only for energy but to do other things that help with climate resilience. What do you think in Hong Kong or elsewhere? The use of solar panel can help, not just energy saving.
Thank you. I think I take the opportunity to echo the other speaker about the difficulty of breaking into health, because I once invited a doctor to talk about this subject, and he said if people get sick, whatever, whether it's climate change or not, I will treat them. So they are not very into preventive things. On renewable energy, I think Hong Kong and other places have a lot of potential. We have a lot of reservoirs. Again, Mr. K.S. Wong has taken our idea to experiment with pilot tests. It's the scaling up. So we all very much like the government's climate action plan to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. But we find that the progress slow. And even in this present policy address, there is no commitment to invest heavily in renewable energy, which we think we should. Wind, solar, and other is possible. It's now becoming the cheapest, almost the cheapest energy source. So it is no longer any reason not to do it. We are next, in mainland, is the largest exporter, manufacturer, and installer of solar systems. We can benefit from that. Even in Hong Kong, many open space, many buildings, I mean, Carbon Care Inno Lab, with our small organization, we just demonstrate how easy it is to build one on one building. We already built 34, even during the period of COVID, okay? So I think there is a lot of potential. We should not wait. We should quickly phasing out coal and fossil fuel. This is the conclusion of COP28. So, and China is a signatory, and our national government is committed to it. So, and it make it applicable to our city. And it is possible, it's also our obligation, and we should not, we should have a higher ambitions. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chong. I just realized that there have been many questions from the floor, and I think we should open it up to that. And I've got these questions on my iPad. Maybe the first one is, says, considering buildings, infrastructure, and power grid in Hong Kong as of today, do you think we are on track to align with the 1.5 degrees Celsius goal? And what are the biggest gaps? I don't know who, probably Professor yes.
Yeah, as a customer of the electricity company. So basically, I think we understand the power company target for net zero by 2050, but I think this is not good enough. I think we are, as we know, some science tell us we are overshooting the 1.5. We are actually 1.45 this year. So we are going to overshoot this 1.5 in the next few years. So what happened in the next 5 to 10 years is very critical to whether we are meeting the 1.5 target. So that's why for the power company, probably they need to act faster, even faster, so that we can actually, because just an airport, we are kind of electrify in a very fast pace. We electrify most of our SI vehicle, etc. But still, we are still using the electricity. So if the carbon value of electricity is not low enough, actually, that is not, I mean, serving the purpose of reaching the target.
Okay, thank you. I'm trying to get in as many questions as possible. Another one is presenting statistics on sustainability impacts enough to align the different stakeholders, you know, to get them to work together. Other approaches are needed to foster genuine buy-in and shared commitment across the boards. Are there any other approaches that we can do?
Well, certainly having the statistic help, but pricing carbon, I think, is fundamental. So getting really, I think the economic driver is a very important driver. So having the numbers and then price carbon, I think is critical.
Okay, and related to that, well, another question is, why do companies find it so challenging to make and follow through these commitments? What are the main barriers for them? And how can they be addressed to drive real progress?
Yeah, I think it's really the way finance and budgeting works. Companies, for the longest time, is based on quarterly, annually reporting to the shareholders. And with the advent of ESG and this additional reporting, that scenario is going to change, and it's going to drive a lot of this mindset change, that you cannot just look at short-term balancing, because there are all these additional, what everybody calls externalities. They are real, you know, they are not make-believe. When the air is bad, when there's flood, somebody is paying. The taxpayers are all paying. We're all taxpayers, we pay. So those costs need to be included more and more. But getting the right data I think the credibility of the data is very important. So that we need to work very, very hard to collect data that is credible, that is detailed enough, beyond just those very high-level statistics. It's going to convince the people how it affects their life, how it affects their electricity bill and their transport costs. I think to bridge that would help to share that message much clearer.
Thank you. Oh, yes, and Mr. Chong would like to.
Just a short addition. I think the investors right now are also asking to avoid climate risk in your investments. So companies have to take that into account. Their short-term convenience will result in long-term loss. So be careful. And also the consumers are asking for better products that are in line with green living and environment. So you have to take that into account as well.
And related to customers or public engagement, there's another question. It says, it's great to see businesses going net zero, but there's a gap in public engagement. How do we make consumers care more about sustainability and change their behavior, given that they don't need to report their ESG performance? Yes, how do we educate the public and also get them, because that's also the other side of the same coin, right? The scientists, the designers, the planners, the government can do so much. How does it work in the mainland, in Guangdong? How do the users can contribute?
简单讲，就是现在刚才林教授也说，我们要更加的努力去研究，去解决然后呢，我们确实想从这些点状到面状形成政策和标准包括湾区标准。我们现在也在做了很多这个交流。香港有很多优秀的人才、技术，包括物料早上跟林局长也在交流这个如何应用到我们的建造到智能建造最后实现我们整个数字和数字孪生确实需要我们在很多应用场景上去提炼，再形成政策和标准。这方面我们也不断的在努力，我觉得这个方面的工作也是很重要的一个保障。
Thank you, Mr. Chen. I think it's a good kind of final comment. And maybe we're coming to the end of the panel. I'll just let everyone have a kind of final word of, final word of advice or caution, in terms of pathway to this resilient, inclusive built environment.
I can start. I think the important word is always collaboration. I think, and also we need to look at the very near future rather than 2050. 2050 may be just too far away for someone, but then, as I said, the imminent risk is upcoming, and everyone can see the climate is changing. So be now and not to wait.
Yes. Actually, since this group is about the built environment in particular, one topic I always want to talk more is on how, because in Southeast Asia we have such high density, we have gone a lot of use in underground structures. With the rain that is really exploding in terms of intensity, I think we need to plan and think ahead more and more how to deal with that when a lot of people are working underground. And certainly we are doing a lot, but I can see nightmare scenarios. And this is something I hope the built environment and the community can think more. And this, I think, is one of the most important points in the short term.
Thank you.
Yeah, for me, sustainability encompasses those 17 goals. We must always remember. Goal number 12, I think, the responsible production and consumption remains very fundamental, certainly in our built environment. In our everyday life, in things that we do. Remember just now, when we talk about people-centered design, there are two words, effectiveness and efficiency. If we do things just, to solve a problem, but we cause even more life cycle carbon. That means what we do, solve one problem, but we create another 10 problems. We need to look at that whole life carbon calculation from the beginning. Every research that we do, we must embrace that now. Because otherwise, the net growth of carbon, especially the sector of AI, IT, I am personally very worried about that sector, right? Everybody wants to use ChatGPT and everything, but is it adding to that overall problem that while we solve one, we create 10? So that, I think, is a very important concept that we need to tackle.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, Mr. Chong, one final word.
Thank you. On renewable energy, we have a target to achieve. We have a possibility to do something about it. We, at the moment, is not meeting the required ambition level. So the gap between 1.5 and the overshooting is very huge. 2.7 people are talking about. So disasters are coming along. So we have to do a lot. And also for the young people, we have to train, educate, and give them opportunity to participate. So my organization, Carbon Care Lab, is running a youth training program. And we're going to COP29. So everything we can do more together. I agree with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any final word from Mr. Chen?
很感谢。那么这次参会呢，也是认识或者说见了很多亲朋老友，也感触比较深的就是还是要多交流、共享。我们也成立了广东省这个在我们建科院也成立了粤港澳大湾区建筑科技联盟我作为理事长，也非常希望我们业界更多的交流，到我们广东、到我们广州来开一些会，或者做一些调研，包括交流，包括刚才提到的青少年这个科技人才的培养和促进，这个也是做好这个工作很有利的一个要素感谢，好，谢谢。
Thank you. I think that's a great wrap up. Collaboration, more exchange, and then give young people a chance. So lots of ideas to take away from our panel. And I think would we please thank all our panelists for these great ideas. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this panel. And also thank you, Professor Cho, for moderating for us. Would our panel members please stand at the front of the stage for a photo to commemorate this moment. Thank you once again for sharing your insights. Well, I especially love the keywords from each of the panel members just now. Collaborate with different stakeholders within or outside of their industry. We definitely lead people from different sectors to work together. When you plan and think ahead, that's what Professor Lau reminded us. And Professor Lam also reminded us of one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals about responsible production and consumption. We have to think really, really very, very deeply in preparation, all the life cycle of our construction projects and everything. All right, thank you once again to our panel. Thank you very much. Please return to your seats off stage. Thank you. And of course, education and training our younger generation would be very important as well. And just so you know, we're going to hear from several young minds later on, just right after the break later we're going to have. And with that, we're going to have a 10 minutes break. Feel free to stretch your legs and enjoy the refreshments outside of the ballroom. A reminder to our guests, if you're interested to have the guided tour to Nina Park, Hong Kong's first and only wood fossil park, please scan the QR code and register for the guided tour. The tour will be available during the lunch break and after the conference. We already have over 500 guests registered for this guided tour. So if you haven't done so yet, please don't miss the opportunity to learn more about the park's unique and sustainable features. Please also visit our booths outside the ballroom. There are 3 booths showcasing the latest trends in sustainability, including Leader Park, CCG Hearts, an unconventional membership rewards program driving positive change, and 7 startup communities committed to spearheading sustainability, innovation, and advocacy, including Apisam Technology, B-Tails, I2Ku, Jab Zero Waste, Mytronics, Natech Wood, and Wind and Sand. So feel free to take your time and visit the booths there. CCG Hearts members, please don't forget to scan the QR code at each booth to redeem extra CCG Hearts points as well. The conference will resume at 12:20, so please be back before 12:20, and we'll see you then. Thank you. Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the conference. I hope you've enjoyed the short break just now and had a chance to stretch your legs a little bit. So we are going to move into the next session. I'm going to give just a few moments to everybody to be seated and get ready for the upcoming part of the conference. Well, the next session, we're going to have a panel discussion involving our young visionaries. And before we invite them on stage, we definitely want to hear your voices from our valued audience. What are your views about the young change makers? Well, so if you could just get out your phones, and we are going to have a polling session to do some interactions together. All right, so let's have your phones ready. And here on the screen, join us on this polling activity. We are starting with the first question right there. And the question is, what single word best describes the quality or trait that you believe is the most important for young change makers in sustainability? Let's see how you think. All right, we're getting the audience ready for the polling activity right here. So let's get the phones out, scan the QR code, and let us know what is that single word that you think would best describe the qualities or traits that are important for our young change makers in sustainability? Okay, we see innovation, passionate, engagement, forward-looking, creativity, passion. Those are very important, really very important qualities there. It's very, very interesting and inspiring to know your thoughts about our young change makers. Okay. And we also have engagement, creativity, commitment, courageous. Those are very important qualities for sure. All right, now let's take a look at the next question. We have another question for you to interact with us. Let's see what that is. So let's see the second question. The second question essentially is going to ask, what do you believe is the biggest challenge faced by young change makers today? Okay, we have several options there. Access to funding, lack of mentorship, community engagement, policy barriers, or others. So let's see, what are the votes there? Okay, most of you are going for community engagement. Okay, access to funding, one of the challenges you think it would be very, very important for our change makers. Okay, access to funding and community engagement are the most pressing challenges that you think our young change makers are facing. That's interesting to know about that. And well, with that, let's hear from our true change makers, our younger generation. Well, the next session, we're going to have a panel discussion titled Disruptive Ideas from Young Visionaries Driving Positive Change. And in this session, we're going to hear from some of the brightest young minds who are challenging the status quo with bold, disruptive ideas. Now, let's welcome on stage our panel members. They are Ms. Rosie Chan, founder and CEO of Jab Zero Waste Limited. Please welcome Rosie. Thank you for joining us, Rosie. Next, we have Dr. Simpson Wu, CEO and co-founder of Oxford Green Innotech, who is joining us via Zoom right now. Hello, Dr. Wu, can you hear us?
Yep.
Would you like to wave hello to our audience here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Lovely to have you too, Dr. Wu. Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Zhang Shengchen, co-founder of the Global Alliance of Universities on Climate COP27 Youth Delegation and co-founder of the Student Association on Net Zero Future at the Tsinghua University. Joining us, we also have Dr. Martin Zhu, co-founder of i2Cool Limited. Welcome, Martin. And of course, our moderator for this session, Ms. Olivia To, Senior Vice President of Sustainability for Technology, Innovation and Entrepreneurship at Invest Hong Kong. Please put your hands together to welcome our panel members. And now over to you, Olivia.
Okay, good morning. So thank you for our wonderful MC and also everyone being here with us today. And we are going to discuss young visionaries driving their positive impact in these sections, actually. So I actually did a little bit of research before the sections to trying to figure out what is the actual meaning of young people. For very obvious reasons, right? Because I really would like to fit in, you know, the young, okay? And turn out, I got a definition from the United Nations, and it says, from their definitions, young people, it basically means about age 15 to 24 years old. Okay, but I didn't give up, and I tried to keep searching their program to see what kind of program they're recruiting about a young talent. And then it turns out they have a program recruiting young talent age 33 years old or below. So in that sense, I think most of us still fit in the categories of young people. So I'm really grateful today for the organizer Chinachem group and also their Business Environment Councils for inviting me to be the moderator of the sections. And I have spent about 12 years in environmental fields. Half of my career is about with the government and half with the non-government organizations. And right now I'm working with Invest Hong Kong, focusing in the areas about attracting the overseas foreign investments coming to Hong Kong in area of sustainability as well as green technologies. And today is really a very significant moment because I am sitting here with our really young visionaries people. And we have Martin, and we also have Dr. Simpson Wu, as well as Shansen and Rosie. They are both they're wonderful and also very successful entrepreneurs, as well as their thought leaders from our young talents. So I just would like to give the time to them to do a little bit of introductions about their work and also their visions to start the discussions. So maybe Rosie, you go first.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity to speak here today. My name is Rosie Chan. I'm the founder and CEO of Jab Zero Waste. I started Jab with a vision to transform food waste management by combining innovation, technology, and environmental responsibility. My journey began during my university study, where a project on waste sparked my determination to address one of the Hong Kong pressing challenge, the ever-growing food waste problem. I quickly realized that food waste wasn't just a disposal issue. It was a potential resource that could play a vital role in circular economy. These realizations led me to explore nature-based solutions, which is how I discovered black soldier-fry technology. Black soldier-fry can efficiently convert food waste into valuable byproducts like organic fertilizer and animal feed. However, conventional black soldier-fry systems were too large and impractical for urban environments. Seeing an opportunity to innovate, I developed a modular, compact, and IoT-enabled black soldier-fry unit that makes waste process feasible, not only for business, it also for households. At JEPJEP, we embrace a decentralized and localized approach, placing our complex certified unit directly at the waste source, whether that is a household, school, market, or business. This IoT-enabled unit allows us to monitor the condition in real time, ensuring maximum efficiency and minimal environmental impact. By processing waste close to its source, we reduce the need for transportation, cutting down on emission. Our goal is to create a true circular economy, where food waste is continuously repurposed into valuable resources, helping communities reduce their environmental footprint while benefiting economically. I'm excited to be here among forward-thinking leaders and innovators. Together, I believe we can make zero waste a reality, turning today's challenge into opportunity for a circular and sustainable future. Thank you.
Okay, over to you, Simpson Wu. He is joining us today from the Abu Dhabi. So please, time is yours.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thank you for the invitation from Chinachem Group and Invest Hong Kong. I am Dr. Simpson Wu, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Oxford Green Innotech, a University of Oxford spin-out company specializing in ammonia and hydrogen technologies. Throughout my career, I always aspire to build an interconnected renewable energy grid. And since my master's at the University of Oxford, I work with Siemens Energy to build the world's first wind energy to ammonia energy storage plant, in which we capture the wind energy and then turn it to ammonia. And then we also demonstrate how to transport ammonia across long distance and eventually turn the ammonia back to energy. The significance of this is that, for example, if we have, say, Australia that has a lot of renewable resources, we can transport this solar energy through ammonia to an energy deficient places, renewable deficient places, for example, like Hong Kong. And we realize that actually the challenge is more on how to convert ammonia back to energy. And that's why we focus on our R&D, and we eventually patent this catalyst that can convert ammonia back to energy. We also spin out the company based on this IP and develop our first product, which is the world's first ammonia power generator for backup solutions. And this innovation has led us to win a couple of world awards. Simply put, this generator can replace diesel generator fully with its zero emission capabilities. It captures a wide range of markets of 240 billion Hong Kong dollars, covering a wide range of applications from mining sites to telecommunications, to construction sites, to data center, to off-grid power supply. At some regions, our generator can achieve 50% fuel cost compared to diesel, and also work extremely quietly and totally zero emission. Our generator has already been installed in Brunei and is currently operational to power the innovation center over there, and also giving green electricity that can charge electric vehicles. We recently have also signed a strategic collaboration with the Indonesian National Electricity Company, PT PLN, in which we will deploy our ammonia generators at the remote islands and also at the office buildings in Indonesia. Generators is just our first step. We believe our technology is much more than that. And so we are also building mobility systems such as ammonia-powered drones, which is long flight time drones, and also ammonia-powered shipping, which will be the ultimate marine industry technology. And let's work together in this future. Thank you.
Thank you, Simpsons. And next, I would like to pass the time to Sangsen. You just fly back from Beijing to join this Hong Kong conference. So time is yours.
Okay. Hi everyone, and super glad to be on this stage to present you some of our work on climate health. And I'm really surprised this morning that many distinguished professors already told you about this view of the health threat from climate change. And because usually people, this graph is from WHO, it says that people only focus on the air pollution because it's the heavy air pollution from PM 2.5 or other black smoke is the most visible health challenge from the environment. And then it comes to the NOx, and it comes from the carbon dioxide emissions, the climate change. The most of visionary people would focus on the climate change. So it's really impressive that everyone in this room is already focusing on this part. And for our work is to assess how much the climate change will impact our health in the future and how to adapt to it. And we try to understand the logic chain behind the climate change on human health and develop cost-efficient methods to adapt to it. To be short and introduce this graph, it starts from human activity, such as city planning. We do infrastructures, constructions, and we cause carbon emissions, and then climate change. And because climate change, it will change the temperature, precipitation, wind speed in the future. And it causes us extreme weathers. And we all know that extreme flooding, heat waves comes to our cities, our society, and cause mobility increase, and the health outcomes of really bad hits, like heart stroke, and even depression comes from the heat wave. So, but fortunately, city planning not only gets us bad things, and it's also the theme of this conference, the resilience of the city planning. Because we rely on our infrastructures, such as the healthcare systems or the cooling systems to protect us from the climate extremes. And so our research is coming down to the infrastructure design and manage action plans. For example, as the resilience of healthcare system, because we usually think that when we are sick, when we get some disease, the first thing come to our mind is going to hospitals. But hospitals, as a last line, secure our health. It's threatened by the climate hazard. And when people crowded into the hospitals, the accessibility is destroyed because we know that the doctors and equipment are limited. So that's our step forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Sang-Chen. Last but not least, Martin, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Fortunately, I'm still under 33, so I can join you guys on the stage. Hello, everyone. My name is Martin, co-founder of i2Cool Limited. We are a company incubated from CTU and then going to the incubation program in Hong Kong Science Park, and now we are promoting our electricity-free cooling technology. And this is our co-founders, my PhD supervisor, Professor Christopher Chow, and Professor Edwin Cho. And then in the lab, we study the heat problem because of the climate change. We need to solve the issue. So that in the lab, we got inspired by the Sahara silver ant that can survive in the very hot desert because of the self-cooling structure on the skin. And then we learn from this cooling principle and then adopt into the material. For example, the painting in the rooftop, and also the film on the windows and the ceramic for the pavement, block road, and also the textile for personal thermal comfort. And now we are working with some vehicle manufacturer trying to bring the cooling technology into the vehicle. You know, when you park the car. Outdoor in summer is quite hot, so with the working principle, we are now applying the material to many different parts of the world, especially for the One Belt and Road countries, because they are hot and dry. For example, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and I will join Dr. Wu 2 weeks later in Abu Dhabi, and I will fly to your city tonight, Beijing. Yeah, so yeah, we're very lucky that we can meet here to share the vision of using the cooling material and combined with the applications in different parts of the world. For example, the building save the AC to reduce the carbon emission, and then they apply to the logistics supply chain because the chill material need to be stored in a cold environment. And we also apply to some 5G station and outdoor equipment to cool the temperature, and then we can improve the efficiency. And most importantly, we can also apply to some new energy devices such as the energy storage system to improve the charging and discharging efficiency with a reduced temperature. And we also apply to the surrounding area of the solar panel to create a microclimate effect so that we can reduce the temperature for the solar panel to improve the photovoltaic generation efficiency by around 3 to 8%. So this is the wide applications. And now we are also not just focused on the business because, now we are talking about the ESG, but for our concept, there are double G, ESGG. The last G will be for good, the technology for good and the business for good. So nowadays we are applying the material together with some NGOs to some low-income family, underprivileged areas such as the subdivided houses in Samshuibo in Hong Kong. And now we are expanding the scheme, applying the free cooling material to them to improve their thermal comfort and reduce their cost for electricity bill in Africa, India, and also some cities in mainland China to promote a carbon neutrality for everyone, for a more global, more eco and more sustainable world for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Martin actually spent exactly 3 minutes for pitching your solution. So you're keeping the time extremely sharp. Thank you so much. So I just would like to start the conversations and discussions on energy first, because you talk about energies, and then we understand that energy is important for modern cities or modern societies. But on the other hand, is on high demand. The study is also saying that about annually our electricity consumptions over the world will keep increasing about 2%, and then by 2050 it will be doubling. But some of the speaker already mentions by 2050 is actually a lot of major economies over the world setting their carbon neutrality target. So I think there is questions about the challenge on how are we going to support the innovation technologies to support R&D to bring in new solutions to this kind of challenging time. So my questions to you is, how do you think about the energy market globally, and how are you going to innovate new products to be aligned with this global challenge or the global trend?
I think, yes, the energy topic is one of the most significant issues we are facing because, everyone knows after the Second World War, we have 5 billion more people suddenly come out to the world. Those 5 billion people, they need house, they need the energy, they need the material for survival. So that's why, the energy is to support their daily life. So I think not just now, but in the coming decades, I think the energy market is like everyone we should focus on because energy is important. And for our technology, because at the very beginning, we are not supposed to generate more new energy, but we are save the energy for the current application without sacrificing, the living quality, such as the thermal comfort of the people. You can just keep the setting point of your AC, but you can lower down your energy cost by around 20 to 40%. So this is the vision of our research at the very beginning to save the energy. But nowadays, we found that not just the energy side, but we can expand to more different applications, surrounding to our daily life, such as the cooling textile for personal thermal comfort. And also we combine with the solar panel to generate more new energy. Yeah, so that I think at the very beginning, if you introduce a new technology, some new innovations to solve a problem, then maybe not just focusing on that single point, but we can look at more different perspective outside. Just think outside the box, then maybe you can use your own technology, your own ideas to combine with more to solve more problems. So in energy sector, now we are facing the challenges of energy shortage, not just shortage, but when we generate more electricity or energy, we need to have a space to store it. So the storage is also a very important problem for us. And nowadays, I can see that many companies, they are developing more new materials, such as some biomass material for the airline field. A lot of new energy are coming out, and now Hong Kong is also now working on some new energy sources such as hydrogen. Now, Hong Kong is a city well positioned to using the hydrogen actually, I think, because we have the gas system inside already have around 50% hydrogen inside our gas. So we are actually positioning ourselves as a new innovation center for the new energy usage. So I think in the future, if more innovators or new technology, they want to work on the energy side, they can also have a more embracing mind that their technology, how could combine with the existing energy facilities or equipment to have a better efficiency or better performance. Or in the future, if they can foresee that in some other industry, the energy uses demand is going up, then they can also work on that to combine their ideas to improve the potential, efficiency. Then we can have a better energy usage situation in the future. Hopefully, our population is keep increasing, but yeah, with our capacity and technology, we can still keep our world more sustainable and more green.
Yeah, very much agree about diversifying our product, focusing on energy market. I just would like to bring in the insights from Dr. Wu, from you as well, because Martin mentioned about their energy storage, and then he supported on painting and energy, increasing the energy efficiency. But you are targeting a relatively niche market on decentralizing their energy supply. So can you share with us about why are you going to, or why do you want this very niche market?
Thank you, Olivia, for your question. It's a very interesting question. So off-grid power actually implies a very important concept in the future, which is the independence to supply electricity. So as you can see, when we have the global warming issues is more and more serious now. And the first time when I come to the UK is 10 years ago. And that during that time in winter, the coldest is just around 0 degrees. But then in last winter, it actually goes down to -8 degrees. So you can see the global warming effect is getting more and more significant. And we also have the recent flooding in Spain, which is not seen before. And so you can see the importance to supply critical power, emergency power, or backup power will be becoming more and more important. And so that's why we are a bit visionary here and target on this market. So to supply green power anytime and anywhere that can cover the most emergent issues. So the first is about the Earth, the first reason. And the second reason is, although off-grid market might sound like a very niche market, not a lot of people heard of it, but it actually is quite a large market in terms of total addressable market. It's around 240 billion Hong Kong dollars. And for example, in construction sites or in Indonesia, there are actually just 2,000 islands are still mainly using diesel generators as the main power source. And in Thailand, for example, there are more than 2/3 of the ports that are still using diesel generators as well. So as you can see, off-grid power generation is actually very essential in terms of the world decarbonization roadmaps. And therefore, we aspire to build ourselves into providing these green solutions in construction sites across these remote islands. And in fact, our next step is that we will be working with Indonesia to deploy our generator in their beautiful island. So you might not imagine the beautiful island with clear sky, with blue water. They're actually powered by diesel generators, giving out a lot of black smoke. But we are going to end all that. We are putting our ammonia generator over there that will not sacrifice any of the efficiencies of the diesel, but with zero emissions. So we believe we are targeting a very significant market over here. Thank you.
Thank you, Simpson. I think both Simpson and Martins is trying to innovate very advancing product and test and trial and commercializing their solutions. Simpson's actually trying to pilot, and he signed some collaboration agreements with the overseas government. And recently, he moved his team from Oxford to Hong Kong and set up a new team just targeting to, on the mobility sectors as well as the green energy sector as well. So thank you so much, Simpsons. After we discuss a little bit on energies, I just would like to bring in more insight because energy is only one of the parts, right? Waste is actually also very important as a modern society. And Rosie, you are one of the pioneer and also leaders in waste industry, and you innovate a machine and also a product trying to transform the waste management industry. Can you share a little bit about why you would like to use the Black Soldier Files, and how are you going to transform the management of waste?
Doing my research, actually, I compared existing method of how do we treat waste, especially food waste. And doing all this research, I just realized is we always try to either reduce the size, dewater it, and just dump it somewhere else. And even a lot of advanced process, after they process, they still have something left. When I discovered Black Soldier Files, I realized this is the method we can actually have zero waste. Actually zero, because everything's is become a byproduct. I can actually bring back the nutrients that we waste and then back to soil. This is a very powerful message for me. And so the second question is,
how are you going to transform?
Yeah, transform. So again, when I study, especially in Hong Kong, we are very rely on transportation. We always have the idea that we're in a busy city and then we just ship stuff to somewhere, landfill or even OPA. OPA is good, but we need more idea. We need more innovation idea to try to do something more, because even two OPA combined together can only solve 500 tons of food waste per day, which is we produce over 3,000 tons of food waste every single day. We need more. We need more way to do it. So I want to do it in reverse. Instead of shipping it to somewhere, which is quite bad for carbon emission, why don't we just do it near to our source? If we have food waste in a hotel, why don't we just solve it here on site? Then we don't need to ship it anywhere. And we produce useful byproducts that we can actually contribute to our landscape and then generate some more valuable products that we can actually help us to just produce make our project to be everywhere. So that is my idea. Just reverse the centralized thinking that we can do it in a decentralized way and zero waste.
Yes,
thank you.
Definitely is a huge topic, and also the market really needs this kind of solutions for the commercial sectors as well as the residential sectors. By bringing in, our maybe Black Soldier Files is one of the animals. We can also have other kind of insects trying to, co-digest and then to make it a more circular economy concept to be applicable in our society. So we talk about waste, and then we also talk about the energies. Actually, we have Shangsen. You have participated COP 2 times or 3 times, I've got. 2 times.
3 times.
3 times, okay. 3 times. And one of the speakers also mentioned about COP is actually happening next week, right? Can you share some of their observations about the COP negotiations ongoing, or your expectations next week on COP, and what trends you find we all sitting in the room should be mindful of?
Okay, thank you, Oliver, for your excellent questions. So for COP for next week, and actually we are calling it a finance COP because it will set a new target for our countries in the Paris Agreement, how to invest in climate issues and how much will has the developed countries to transfer to the developing countries. And in fact, there's another huge topic being discussed pre-COP and even next year, because next year is a time every country needs to update its national determined contributions, which means that every country needs to set 2035 carbon reduction goal. And according to that trial, I want to share it's also something related to health I observed during the previous COP, because we all know that COP28 is the first ever COP have a health day and have the declaration on climate health by more than 130 countries. And that means that finally people regard health not just as a side effect of carbon reduction, because we know that reduce carbon emissions will reduce air pollution and then has health effect. And finally, people realize that climate issues is at the end the health issues, because we're talking about energy, waste, and the extreme weathers. It's all about how to protect our health. And it's a good trend because in the health scientist society, people are talking about we need to use health to push those countries increase their carbon reduction goals, because we all know that for the public, carbon dioxide emissions is invisible, and we can't see it, we can smell it, we can feel it. But health is far away from us. But health is the most easiest thing relate to our own, because we can feel our health, we care about our health, and we care about the health of our families, our friends. So that's a good trend to really make people doing climate actions and push the countries to set a higher goal. Thank you.
Right. So it's a much emergent topic, not only about energy and waste, but health issue. Because of their climate change, and previously in the morning, one of the professors also mentioned, Alexis mentioned about the very worrying figures all over the world, the health impact on our people. So because here we have the very successful entrepreneurs sitting here with us, I just would like to dive a little bit deeper to understand your rationale behind. So because Martin and Simpsons, you both from academic field before, and then right after the academic, you start your own companies, and then right now is already quite successful in a way that your solutions is impactful, making positive changes. So I just want to understand about what kind of adjustment you actually tune yourself from being an academia to entrepreneur. Yeah, please.
Yeah, and actually, as an academic people in the university, we listen to the editor of the journal paper, because a PhD student, they need to publish their research on some prestigious journals such as Science, Nature. We pursue such kind of publications. So what we did is actually to fulfill the requirement of the editor of the journalist. Nowadays, we are in a business, then same the logic thinking, we are fulfilling the requirement of our clients. But just, the mindset of both bosses are different. Like a journal paper, they would like to see a very good result, 99% reflectivity, 99.8% emissivity, for example. But in the business world, the boss may think that, cheap is important, low cost, also high performance, also the little can be applied with some other material, for example, not just cooling, but also you need to have the waterproof, dustproof, blah, 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 many different properties. But I think the basic thinking is just to be flexible. In the lab, we need to work in a very high performance in terms of different parameters, but in the business world, we also need to work to fulfill the real-world requirements, such as the regulation, VOC emission, reflectivity, and also some other cost number to make sure that we don't disobey the laws of different departments in the government, and most importantly, to keep the payback short. So I think the basic thinking is the same, but we just see the things in different angles. That drama of the comfort zone as well, to make your product that can be applied to different scenarios with an open-minded thinking and be flexible.
Great. Simpson, do you have anything to add on? And on top of that, I just would like, because I'm cautious about the time, but on top of that, I just would like to ask, why are you making a decision from Oxford, setting up an office from Oxford, and then right now you go back to Hong Kong?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So I echo with Martin that when we are doing academics in the past, when we were writing the publications in the last paragraph, we usually need to paint a big picture of how this potential solution can make a positive change in the world. And I used to think I just write a very beautiful paragraph, but now that I become an entrepreneur, I have actually the opportunity to make this a reality. How we transform our lab bench prototype to eventually an actual product that can serve the community. To this point, I think I'm very grateful that our innovation can really make a good change in this world. And towards your second question, I think the biggest reason for us to come from other parts of the world to Hong Kong is because I think Hong Kong is a very good region that can leverage green technologies. And secondly, Hong Kong is like a very strategic location that can allow us to enter the GBA market. So Hong Kong is like very strategic locations that can nurture this green energy to grow. I have the privilege in the past to work with a lot of the different governments in the world, like UK, Brunei, Indonesia, Singapore. And what I realize is the government support is actually crucial in order to make a young startup to grow into like a bigger company. For example, when I talked to Singapore government in the past, they actually have built a very established supply chain. So it's the government taking the leader role to build this chain, so that in a way that they have integrated the whole supply chain. They have very deep understanding about the whole thing, from for example, the hydrogen production or the ammonia production to the how you get the ammonia into something in a form that you can transport or eventually turn the ammonia back to energy. And all the small parts in the bit, they know very well about it, so that when, for example, a young company like us went to go to them, they will simply know what part will fit in the supply chain. And they will connect the resources in the upper chain and downstream to connect together so that you can focus on your own technology and then you can contribute to a bigger community. And I think Hong Kong has a very big potential to do the same. Hong Kong is very close to, regionally, it's very close to the Guangdong province. And also, it has a lot of good technologies. For example, they have just built the first hydrogen gas stations in Hong Kong. And there is a lot of great resources that we can potentially leverage, and that can help a startup to become like a better future.
Thank you, Simpson. You mentioned about the support from the government, and also I just checked the polling result just now before the sections. It mentioned about what is the biggest challenge from our young visionaries, and they mentioned funding is one of the challenges they are facing. And I think this is also, you may have echoed about this solution as well. I just would like to stress that Hong Kong government has been trying to investing more for supporting the green solutions, particularly on the green tech sectors and green financing sectors. So that's why we have the Green Tech Fund, we have the Innovation and Technology Funds to support the young visionaries to keep on growing your solutions. And in closing, because of the time, I just would like to share a quote from our organizer. I have a look of this book called Live Pulse from Chinachem Group, and I read it a lot because it's really captured a lot of human stories, and I think really interesting. And one quote I think is really suitable for this panel. It says, "Intergenerational collaborations is key to fostering a sustainable society." And with that, let's invest in our futures and our young people. And please join hands to give a round of applause for our wonderful speakers. And thank you everyone for joining this session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much to this panel, and thank you, Olivia, for moderating for us as well. Dr. Wu, stay with us because we're going to have a group photo for all the panel members here. And we're going to capture you on the screen as well. So please do stay with us. And would our panel members please smile for the camera at the front. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and your expert knowledge, especially your experience in working for the communities that your businesses are, advocating sustainability for. Thank you so much. Please hold one more photo, and I think we have got it. Thank you very much once again to this panel. Thank you also to Dr. Wu for joining us via Zoom. Thank you very much. So panel members, you may now proceed off stage and be seated. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're going to have our lunch break. For those of you who are not able to join us in the afternoon session, please put your badges in the return box at the reception. For those staying on, please keep your confirmation email with QR code to register at the reception table again, starting from 1:30. And if you have been using an SI headset, please leave it on your chair and our staff members will collect them later. For those who join us online, please log in to the same link again at 1:45. A reminder to our guests, we're offering guided tours of Nina Park now during lunch break and after the conference, where you can learn more about the park's unique and sustainable features. If you haven't registered yet, you can scan the QR code displayed on the LED screen to sign up, and don't miss out the opportunity to know more about this park. For those of you who have signed up for the tour, please use the escalator located in front of the ballroom entrance to go down to Nina Park. Signages and our helpers will guide you along the way. Or if you would like to have a quick lunch before visiting Nina Park, please enter the park via the entrance next to Parkside at Nina and Welcome Supermarket on the second floor of Nina Mall. Please also visit our booths outside the ballroom. You'll know more about the latest trends in sustainability, including our Nina Park, CCG Hearts, and also we have 7 startup companies with us. CCG Heart members, so please don't forget to scan the QR code at each booth to redeem extra CCG Hearts points. We have also special offers to all participants today here at the Nina Hotel Chuen Wan West at Cafe Circles and Nina Patisserie. Details are shown on the screen. If you're visiting Nina Park, you may try out the wood fossil-themed restaurant Parkside at Nina. Thank you very much once again, and we'll see you after lunch. Bon appetit.